The message popped onto her phone screen like a thunderclap that shattered everything around her. "I just bought your company." For a few seconds, Aria Kellington just stared, her breath stuck halfway in her throat, her pulse hammering in her ears. The boardroom around her blurred into a haze. The same boardroom her late father once ruled with calm authority, the same one where she'd promised him she'd protect the legacy he'd built. Now, all that stood between her and ruin was a simple text from a man she barely knew. A single dad from a small town who somehow had the power to destroy everything she had left. Before we dive deeper, if you believe in, please let's keep spreading stories that heal hearts and remind us that compassion can change lives. Aria's trembling fingers scrolled up, reading the name again. Ethan Ward. She remembered him vaguely from a conference 6 months ago. A tall, quiet man with eyes that carried too many stories, a voice that didn't need to shout to be heard. He wasn't from the corporate elite like her. He'd built his tech firm from scratch, coding through nights while raising a little girl alone after his wife's death. He was the type of man her father might have respected, but never trusted to run his empire. And now, he owned it. Aria stumbled back into her office, trying to breathe. Her chest tightened, her fingers cold. Everything she had fought for was slipping away. The company, her father's legacy, her identity. Panic rose like a tide. For years, she'd worked under the constant pressure of expectations, smiling through board meetings, swallowing insults from investors who saw her as a spoiled heir. But she wasn't. She'd fought tooth and nail to prove she was more than just the CEO's daughter. Yet all it took was one text to make it all crumble. She dropped into her chair and whispered to herself, "No, this can't be happening." But it was. While Aria tried to gather herself, far away in a modest suburban home, Ethan Ward sat on his couch, his laptop open, his daughter asleep on his shoulder. The house smelled faintly of crayons and coffee. His shirt had a stain from her breakfast pancake, but his heart was full. Buying Kellington Industries wasn't about power or pride. It was survival. His small software company, Lunatech, named after his daughter Luna, had been suffocating under a wave of debt after a major investor pulled out. Kellington Industries' recent downfall had presented him with an unexpected opportunity. Their shares were plummeting after mismanagement by interim leadership. Ethan had swooped in quietly, securing controlling ownership, not to destroy but to rebuild. He wanted to restore what had been broken, to merge both companies into something stronger. But deep down, he also wanted to confront the arrogance of the elite corporate world that had once humiliated him. He hadn't forgotten the day he'd pitched his software to Kellington's executives 3 years ago. He'd stood there, nervous but hopeful, while Aria Kellington, dressed in crisp white, her eyes cold and detached, barely looked up from her phone. She'd rejected his proposal without a second thought, saying his company didn't fit their vision. That same night, he'd come home to find his wife's final hospital bills waiting. The rejection had been a knife twist in an already bleeding wound. Now, fate had circled back, and the tables had turned. The next morning, Aria arrived at the office pale and sleepless. The official announcement confirmed it. Lunatech acquires Kellington Industries. Her world tilted. Reporters swarmed, employees whispered, and her once commanding presence now drew pity. But beneath the panic, something else stirred. A strange, reluctant curiosity. Who was Ethan Ward now? What did he want from her? The answer came that afternoon. A meeting invitation appeared in her inbox. Conference Room B, 100 p.m. Ethan Ward. She almost didn't go, but pride pushed her forward. She straightened her blazer, brushed her hair, and walked in with her chin high. He was already there, sitting calmly at the end of the table, laptop open, the faintest smile on his lips. His eyes met hers, not with triumph but something deeper. Maybe pity, maybe understanding. "Miss Kellington," he greeted softly. "Or should I say, former CEO." Her stomach twisted, but she refused to let him see it. If this is your idea of revenge, congratulations, she said sharply. You've won. He leaned back. I'm not here for revenge, Aria. I'm here to rebuild what's broken, including you. The words hit her like a wave. Her heart raced, her throat tight. Excuse me. Ethan's gaze softened. Your company was your father's dream. I read about him. The man was a visionary. But after his death, everything fell apart. You were set up to fail by the very people who pretended to support you. I'm not here to destroy Kellington Industries. I'm here to give it a second chance. She wanted to believe him, but the fear inside wouldn't let her. Why me? Why keep me around? Because you care, he said simply. And because I know what it's like to lose everything. His voice cracked slightly, and for a brief moment, the armor around him slipped. He told her about Luna, his 5-year-old daughter who still asked when Mommy was coming back, about the nights he spent coding while she slept beside him, about fighting banks and rejection letters just to keep the lights on. I didn't buy your company to punish you. He finished quietly. I bought it, because I know how to rebuild broken things. I've done it before. Something inside Aria shifted that day. She still didn't trust him fully, but for the first time, she saw the man behind the numbers. Someone who carried pain just like her. Weeks passed. They worked side by side, often arguing, often staying late, trying to save what was left of Kellington Industries. Ethan's methods were unconventional, transparent, humble, almost too human for a corporate world fueled by greed. He spoke to janitors and interns as equals, brought Luna to the office sometimes, and filled the sterile hallways with laughter. His kindness disarmed everyone, including Aria. She found herself watching him when he wasn't looking. The way he smiled when Luna ran into his arms after school. The way he listened when she spoke, really listened. Slowly, the tension between them turned into something unspoken. A fragile connection born from shared pain and mutual respect. One night, as they worked late reviewing financials, the power flickered out during a storm. The emergency lights bathed the office in a soft glow. Aria looked out the window, her reflection trembling. I used to think strength meant never breaking, she said quietly. Now I think it means surviving after you do. Ethan smiled faintly. That's the only kind of strength that matters. They stood in silence, the storm outside echoing the storms within them. Over the next few months, the company slowly began to rise. Employees smiled again, clients returned. For the first time in years, Aria felt hope. Not the fragile kind that trembled under pressure, but the steady kind that grew from truth. She and Ethan became partners in more than business. He taught her compassion, she taught him vision. Together, they rebuilt something beautiful. But fate wasn't done testing them. One morning, news broke that a rival corporation was planning a hostile takeover. Ethan was furious. The deal they'd worked on for months was sabotaged from the inside. Someone had leaked sensitive data, and all evidence pointed to Aria. The board demanded her resignation. When Ethan confronted her, she was pale and shaking. I didn't do this, she pleaded. You have to believe me? But the trust they'd built cracked under the weight of betrayal. I want to, he whispered. But everything says otherwise. She left the office that night in tears, the city lights blurring through her vision. The next day, she disappeared. No calls, no messages. The company spiraled again. Ethan worked endlessly, exhausted, guilty. Then one evening, he found an old email buried in the server logs. Evidence that a senior executive had orchestrated the leak to frame Aria. His chest tightened with remorse.